the reason I bring this up is because, like, if you are a leader, you are no longer some sort of like free-floating person who just says, "Oh, I'm just here for the sort of critique." No, that's not your job. Your job is to be like a protector of the flock.
Yes.
And you it's like, having kids. Once you have kids, freedom is going bye-bye, unless you're a really truly horrible parent. Because like the main point of your life is no longer your own enjoyment or freedom. The main point, and you've sacrificed freedom to achieve this, is protecting and taking care of your kids. But
Yes.
I don't, and the people who say that, having kids actually help them, and there are a lot of those people around, mind you, like they see it as the same way as, Rue the Redeemer. Sure, I have to sacrifice, like I have to cut off my ability to go on like, weekend-long benders or whatever, just sit home smoking weed and playing video games all day. But I'm not a weaker person for it. And again, this is what you have to do in politics. Like once you have an institution, once you have a constituency, you are no longer free. You are given the choice of things to give up. But once you give those things up, you become, at least theoretically, at least potentially, politically powerful. Like you can go from this sort of sense of complete powerlessness that all of these leftist podcasters and commentators have, to actually, having the ability to inspire other people. But again, this is not free. This comes with sacrifice. This comes with actually being the guy who sits up to like 11 p.m. 7 days a week for 3 weeks, hawking together a municipal budget. Like, this is the sacrifice you perform in order to be trusted and loved by the people.
I always think of that moment where Napoleon has been condemned by the state. He's been exiled, and whatever. He comes back. He's approached by men from the state government, and they say, "Oh, you're Napoleon. There's a warrant out for your head." And he just he kneels on the ground. He says, "Okay." He says, "Are you going to kill your emperor?" These guys look at each other, and when this is retold as like a theological thing or something like that. But what was going through those men's head? So the joke of the story is they didn't kill him. They took this guy with him, and they're like, us normal guys, us normies, things are a lot better for us if we have this guy around to represent us in the world, and that's in that case on the world stage.
So, what's the worst kind of local politician to have? And you can see a lot. You can see a lot of this in our politics because it's the United States. It's the biggest stage. The worst kind of local politician you can have is a guy who's really worried about getting in the New York Times. He wants to be, he wants to make a name for himself nationally, but not by doing things that that make him powerful, make him beloved. But he's in it for the press. He cares more about what people think about him in Washington or or in the New York Times than he cares about what the people who he represents thinks about. And I'm not saying this is even bad on a moral level, which it is. But it's that person is useless when things get bad, and we've had a taste of it in the last year. You can see which politicians are worth a shit and which are worthless because of the bat flu. So think about in terms of governors right now. Even if you despise them, compare say DeSantis of Florida to Cuomo of New York. Do I need to go on, or does it just saying that makes the point itself, right?
Yeah.
Oh, let me hang on. Let me step here. There's one of these things of ideology versus this representing role. This I work for you and I do stuff for you. Have you ever heard this thing where people, or especially you'll see this online and stuff, people be like, "Well, that guy is a NIMBY," and they'll say and they'll refer to a population of people. It's like, oh, they believe in the ideology of NIMBY. Like this is like a theoretical arrangement or a mystification or
not in
confusion.
my backyard is what it stands for.
Right. And so this would be people like, I don't want homeless people in my neighborhood. I would like my politician to move them to another neighborhood. And let me tell you something. That's not an ideology. It's not a mystification. It's a confusion. That is a battle over who has the best representation, who has the best relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like the way to solve those things is for essentially to borrow from you, to speak in the language of you Anglos. Like an armed society is a polite society, in the sense that, like, if you have people who are politically unarmed, they don't have any sort of strong advocates or any sort of like organization or whatever. They will get taken advantage of by those who are organized, and again, that's when sort of this NIMBYism can essentially lead to, oh, well, we're going to produce a lot of toxic waste and then just dump it. Because the people where we're dumping it on, they aren't strong enough to fight back. And
it's like you said in Unforgiven. I guess they should have armed themselves.
Yeah. but like, this is kind of the thing here in why, it's like I've really come to sort of